Hi, first grade. This is Mr. Parson. I wanted to show you some examples today and talk to you a little bit about rhyming poems, since this is your assignment this week in writing in first grade on our lesson plans. Rhyming poems, when we read them or hear them, especially when we talk about silly ones, we often think of Dr. Seuss right away, and it almost seems as when we're reading Dr. Seuss poems and books like The Cat in the Hat or One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, and we know that there's many of them. They almost seem like it would be so easy to write them, but they're not. They're actually very difficult to write, and which makes Dr. Seuss that much more impressive. So today, since your assignment this week is writing a rhyming poem with your spelling words, with 4 spelling words this week, I wanted to give you a few tips on how you can maybe do this and make it a little less challenging on yourself. So I wanted to go to my first slide, and the first slide says, here's the tip that I'm going to give you this week. Make sure that you end each line of your poem, with the words that rhyme. And it makes it easier to write a rhyming poem when you do this. So I've chosen 4 words from a previous spelling lesson. You're going to choose words from this week's spelling lesson. And the ones that I've chosen to help you give you an example is born, corn, roar, and soar. So I'm going to show you how I put one of these together to help you out. I'm going to give you an example. It says this is an example of a silly rhyming poem. In this rhyming pattern, the first 2 lines end with rhyming words, then the next 2 lines end with different rhyming words. When you get older, you're going to hear this rhyming pattern as an AABB. That means the 2 A words rhyme and then the 2 B words rhyme. You'll learn that later on. But this is the one that I would suggest that you would do this week. Here's an example. It says with the spelling words I am using. So look at my top line. A long time ago, I was born. There's the rhyming words, one of my spelling words that I used. As I grew up, I ate lots of corn. Now, there's born and corn. They rhyme. See how I put them at the end of the line? Does that make sense? Not really. Is it sort of silly? Yeah, it's silly. And that's what we're going to do this week. We're just working on trying to figure out how we can rhyme words and then write sentences and lines in a poem. My next 2, so there's the two words that rhyme. Now look, as it says above, now I'm going to use the next 2 words in these next 2 sentences. So it says, the lion will make a loud roar. High in the sky, the eagle will soar. So you can see how I put roar and soar at the end of those 2 lines as the rhyming words. Now I have some sort of complex sentences there, and it even took me a couple minutes to think of that last sentence, of how to word it so that those 2 words would be at the end of the sentence. So it might take you a little bit of time this week. It might take you a few minutes to try to figure out how to put those words in an order that will make sort of some sense. And a lot of times poets don't write like they talk. We normally might not say high in the sky the eagle will soar. If we're talking, we would probably say, if we're talking, the eagle will soar high in the sky. But that's the challenge about writing a poem, is sort of rearranging your words. So I wanted to give you an example of one, just so that you could think about it as you do your writing assignment this week. So now it's your turn. You try it. Choose 4 of our spelling words from this week's list. Place the spelling words at the end of each line in your poem. That you don't have to, but that's the suggestion I'm giving you. Try to come up with a silly rhyming poem with those 4 words. And this is the most important part. Have fun and make it silly. Have fun with it. Don't make it something that you're going to get nervous or stressful about. Put some words in there and try to make it fun and silly. And don't forget to remember COPS. C is capitalization, O is order and organization, P is punctuation, and S is spelling. You've done a great job with your writing so far this year as we've gone to our online learning, and I'm sure you'll do the same this week. Make sure you take a picture of your poem because we know all of us first grade teachers, we all love to see your work and how creative you're being and what great writers you have become. All right, so thank you for listening, and see what you can do this week. Hopefully you'll find a way to get that done. Have a great and enjoy.